Please, please do it. Yes, yes, he's doing it. He's going back in to build again. And the timing is going to be perfect. Because we are getting in to the Mega Random free-for-all. Let's go. Oh, what is this? I am happy right now. I think I'm happy. Am I in love with this generation? What? Okay, what is the number one thing that I always complain about? Well, not always, but if I'm going to complain about something Mega Random, what's the thing I complain about? It's the generation sticking lots of crap in the corners, making it beneficial to play corners. Overall, there's not too much of that. This one's a bit ridiculous, so is this one, but outside that, it's like, it's not a huge line of never-ending gold lines and deer and what else. Like, I feel like overall this is reasonable in that most of the resources are situated towards the center of the map. So people are more inclined, or more encouraged rather, to play towards that area, which is always better for the game. I find Mega Randoms are better this way. Same with Sacred Sites if they're all situated in the center, which this time around they are. So we actually might have a very fun game around the center of the map here. Let's see how it's going to play out. Let's introduce our players. Snooper, of course. Aussie legend. Most people know him. He streams a lot. He plays competitively. Very talented player. Very wonderful little cutie. He's going to be playing as the HRE in this one. And it looks like Gabble over here. Gabble, I couldn't find too much data on. I believe this is the one that just hasn't got any record. So this could just be an outright smurf just created. We don't know what kind of rank they are. They're going to be playing as the Roos. Only Roos play in the situation. I feel like I don't see the Roos in Mega Random that frequently. I don't know if the code weighs towards certain civs over others. I am glad there's no Chinese, by the way, just to clear that up straight away, because Chinese tend to dominate these Mega Randoms more often than not. Right next to them, Baltimore. We know this lad. This is, of course, good old Benny boy, DeMusliM himself, playing as the English right at home here on his nice little hilltop. Two players close by. I wouldn't be surprised if there is direct conflict in the blink of an eye between these two. Moving across to the east corner, Salami. He did find that cheeky corner we talked about. We saw him wiggling someone out there. Of course, Salami would find his way to a corner. Let's just be real here, folks. If there's something we know about Salami, it's that he clearly loves sausage and he clearly loves corners. So put him in the corner and give him a lot of sausage is the TLDR to take away from this. And it's going to be a beautiful base, by the way. Naturally defended. It's very hard to access at all, to be honest with you. I don't think Salami is going to be pressured anytime soon. He might have to come out somewhat quick, though. Yeah, he's got a decent bulk of gold to begin with, but then he has to start shifting out into the lowlands, the open lands, in fact. As long as he walls the south side, though, everything should be condensed from one direction, which is pretty thumbs up for his location. Then there's Jean-Marie. Jean-Marie is an unknown to me. Apparently, they played recently in Turin's free-for-all tournament. Very capable player, actually, up at 44th on the ranked leaderboards right now at the time of recording with a 63.6% win rate. So definitely no pushover. And quite appropriately, by the way, Jean-Marie is going to get to play as the French. Okay, I like that. That's an important detail. There needs to be like, if name seems this civ, give them this civ. As, yeah, he'll feel, or he or she, or rather, will feel right at home. Then moving up to the north, Gilv. Gilv is probably the lowest ranked player that we know of. No, wait, no, sorry. Duck Pond is. Duck Pond, we'll get to Duck Pond. We'll talk about Gil first, because Gil is actually quite talented as well. Gil is 173rd in the world. 1,223 ELO rating on the ranked leaderboards. Should put up quite a fight here in the north. Also playing as the French. And nearby, of course, we have got good old Duck Pond. Duck Pond, who's nowhere near a pond, but definitely has a little high ground to themselves. They are the lowest ranked one we know of. They're actually ranked around the 2,000th mark in the world right now, with 1,017 ELO on the leaderboard. So, competent player, should put up a reasonable fight, and has a decent position to defend upon. It's just a question mark of whether they get left alone with Gil, because if they do, they might be in trouble. When we move around, of course, Pilot Elf, we can't forget the list lads in the game. Our third French resident, no Mongols for him, and that's how most people will be familiar with Pilot Elf, as he has made quite the reputation as a filthy Mongol spammer. Loves his outposts, loves his Castle Age rushes. We'll have to see if he goes for the Castle Age rush in this one as the French. And I believe that rounds out our competitors, right? I don't think we missed anyone. So busy looking back and forth on the stats. But I'm hyped to see how this one's going to play out. Opening-wise, I'm wondering if we're going to see aggression. I do feel like the most likely areas for aggression is going to be between DeMusliM and Gabble here. And then probably between Gilv and Duck Pond. Mainly because Duck Pond has to do this. Yeah, this is my concern. Like, Duck Pond has a high ground, but where's your gold? This is not a good gold line to be on. In fact, Duck Pond, if you want to survive more than 5 minutes, you're going to need to gather wood and get an outpost down ASAP because Gilv could just obliterate you here. In fact, if I was Gilv right now, I would be gathering wood and rushing an outpost right here on this mining camp, knowing there's nothing you can do about it. In fact, what I'm going to do is something we're experimenting with. It's going to take a few days to get feedback on the YouTube side and the Twitch side, but I like to fast forward if it looks like not much is going to happen in the early game, just because obviously there's a very big map. It's interesting to somewhat see the builds orders, and we can check in them every few minutes, but like realistically, most of the time, first 10 to 15 minutes outside of a cheesy Barbican drop, which we don't have to worry about in this game, you don't tend to see too much happen. We will keep an eye on the most likely culprits, though, which is going to be here in the north and here in the south, to see if any sort of conflict does emerge in the first few minutes. Meantime, Tech Up starting to come out, and looks like Jean-Marie will not even try to go for Chamber of Commerce. It's just going to be straight up School of Cavalry. That's one of the important details to look at, is each of these French players, are any of them going to be playing towards trade? It is an option available that we've seen a lot of players utilize in these situations, but it looks like it's going to be double School of Cavalry. Make that a triple, so no trade intent coming out from anyone in this game, I suspect, as nobody's really postured in a way that they could actually benefit from it right now. In terms of where the trade is, you can see most of them are situated around here. You've got one on the waterfront, one on land, and one stretched over here. And I feel like if one player was going to do it, it would have been Pilot Elf, but he doesn't know his situation is as good as it is, where he's actually got a clear route that is going to be harassed at all. In the meantime, the south side, still no conflict out. Looks like DeMusliM is choosing to just escalate economy before escalating to military offense. And look at this. Gilv and Jean-Marie. It's a civil war. Gilv is going to deny equity here. He gets his outpost up first, gets garrison in, but does lose 2 villages for his trouble. Will return the favor, though. Jean-Marie sneaking it. Okay. I love this out of Jean-Marie. Not a lot of people were doing this. 3 players came to this area. 3 players. DeMusliM did lose out by the looks of it. I don't think his lad survived the conflict, as he was struck down. But now, at the end of this, you have to question mark who's going to get it. Jean-Marie, you need something other than villages to take down this outpost, my friend. With 1 scout remaining nearby, it looks like Gilv will be able to deny him, and Gilv needed this space because he's going to be pressured on 2 sides. Needs to be careful about the way he does this, though, because shifting east and drawing the attention of Jean-Marie, while also being a situation where you should draw the attention of Duck Pond, could mean you're fighting a war on 2 fronts. And that will get ugly real fast. Meanwhile, on the south side, Gabble is going to start to wall up. He realizes what he's next to here. He's like, not the bald one. Not the anything but the bald one. For good reason, he wants to be as far away from that and insulated from it as possible. Meanwhile, Snooper, having a good time in the back corner, is building up in the Regnitz Cathedral, so he's booming up into Castle ASAP, quicker than anyone else in this game, in fact. Relic situation, there is one nearby. Looks like that's going to be it, though, so he'll struggle to actually get the full value out of this cathedral. Tech Ups continue to come out. Second TC now being constructed by Jean-Marie. No real conflict just yet, and Knight has moved out. We'll start to get rid of that outpost, and Gilv does need those resources eventually. Actually, Gilv? What? Gilv, wrong place, wrong time. Oh, no. No, no, no. He might lose 2 or 3 more villages for this. He's out in the middle of no man's land. Scout's going to keep an eyeball on them. It's going to be a chase through. Should be able to make it back to the safety of the TC. But Gilv, this is not the way you want this to play out. Losing more villages, a bunch of idle time being parked between 2 players. Gilv is looking likely to be first in the chopping block at this rate. Especially if Duck Pond gets aggressive, which we can see he's actually starting to. And Gilv's only got himself to blame, mind you. He built the outpost on the north side we talked about, so he drew attention there. And this is the frustrating part. Why did you play towards the deer when you had the berries on the backside? You could have stayed out of the way the entire time, but now you're going to be in trouble. Speaking of avoiding trouble, Gabble has completed the wall in. At least on one side. Just trying to buy himself some time. To what end, though? What is his end goal in this situation? Is getting the stables down. Makes sense when you're up against an English player. However, this English player isn't going for longbows. It looks like Snooper did go out looking for goodies, but oh, no. No! Not Ben! Ben, come on. This is just mean. All right, judging by these my estimates here, this will take Snooper 6 more prelates to get this back to base. It's going to be a while. He did at least get one of the relics, mind you. However, I don't know if DeMusliM's aware of exactly where Snooper is. He has scouted the entire area, so it's entirely possible he does know about this TC. And it means that if DeMusliM is able to keep bulking the way he is, like, I could easily see Gabble going out first and then it being a fight between the two. And in that situation, my concern for Snooper is a lack of resources, really. Right? You got this initial gold deposits, great. Wood, plenty of it, but food. What about food? Well, you can see that he did shift out onto the deer here. That's putting him out in very kind of greedy pocket ecos that can be exposed. And he doesn't actually have the wiggle room to build up infrastructure both economically and militarily, right? You either choose farmlands or you choose military in this area. And it means that you can be outmassed on both the eco side and military side by Ben, who has a lot of open ground around his base. Mind you, one limitation to keep in mind for Ben in comparison is the gold. It is a little bit lacking. But considering he has a double outpost to defend him here, it seems like it's going to be very cruise mode, especially considering the English don't use much gold until they're at least up in Castle Age. Meanwhile, Jean-Marie making their way up with the Royal Institute. And I'm getting worried for Gilf. I'm getting very concerned for Gilf. Duck Pond is still on guard to the west side, building up a sizable quantity of spears and lombos. And just south of that, Pilot Elf, the third French player, hanging back, getting the guild hall, but has started TC boom up. 3 TCs on the map right now. So eco count looking mighty healthy there. Meanwhile, second TC is finally coming out from Gabble. So looking to escalate himself. And no second TC out of Snooper. Feels like a missed opportunity here. I feel like you could really benefit from it, in fact. Just a second TC in a different corner, maybe, which it looks like he's going for a different corner right now. He's sending 14 villagers over here, but Pilot Elf is here as well, so he'll know that this is coming. And I don't think that's what you wanted. If you're Snooper, you were trying to do this secretly. You wanted to maybe get a Palace of Swabia up in this area, right? Yeah, he's even got the resources, so it is a Palace of Swabia play, but it's probably not going to go unnoticed. We'll have to see. Elf hasn't pulled himself in up here. Would be one thing to do, to maybe deny the relic from your opponent, but I'm really not... Elf, what... I don't know what we're doing. What? Oh, I get it. Elf has been like, oh, I want to outpost rush my opponent. Ah, no opponent here. I'm going to outpost rush someone. Let me find them first. Oh, I'm going to outpost rush this corner. There we go. However, I think you're too late. Snooper should be able to kill you off this time. If we do the maths quickly, he does 2 damage every 2 seconds. This villager has 50 health. You guys want to do the maths on that? He'll kill it. He would kill it if he kept attacking. Now, however, it's just going to go up for free. I just don't know why Snooper's letting him put it up for free. I guess his concern is he'll get attacked in. What? What? How is this a choice you make? Oh, no. All right. Now, in fairness, in Snooper's defense, it is quite late in Australia right now. That's the only thing I can think, because I don't understand why this villager has been allowed to build this. All right, so Snooper's going to build his final landmark away from his primary base to play it safe, to make sure he can't get landmark sniped. However, Pilot Elf now knows about it, and although it's a long run, you haven't got anything to defend it. I'm not sure Snooper's going to survive too long here. Nice little move by Gabble, though. 216 gold per minute with a double forest. Good value on that high trade house. They are going to discover each other soon. Meanwhile, we haven't checked in on Salami in a while. Woo-hoo, baby, he's feeling good. 3 TCs already constructed. White tower at the front of the base to defend him. He's booming up. He's going to have to expand out into that lowland we talked about very quickly, though. We'll leave him a little bit more exposed to potential raids in the coming minutes. Raids that Jean-Marie is currently making towards Duck Ponds. A little pseudo-expansion here, because he didn't want to pull the villages all the way to the north. How's Duck Pond doing, actually? Duck Pond, I don't like, and not in a mean way. It shows that he's the lowest ranked player. You can see how he's behind in the builds, but he's still alive, to his credit. And I think it's because Gilv can't actually focus him at all. Like, Gilv seems very uncomfortable to stay at the game. Jean-Marie is boosted up. He's kind of stark paranoid about being raided on 2 sides. He has no wiggle room to get out of here. He has no resources in reserve, right? Like, this gold vein is kind of it. Like, at the back, there's no additional gold. There's only wood. The food is drying up soon as well. Gilv is in a really, really tough spot here. I don't know how you survive more than, say, 15 minutes at this rate. Meanwhile, Snooper. He knows, but you know he knows, right? I'm not sure how long Snooper will survive. Especially if DeMusliM starts getting aggressive expansionist, as English people historically have been. Oh, right now they're trying to get a, you know, an anchor point on the religion game as he's playing towards the relic. I like this play out of Ben, actually. He's closest to the center, and a lot of these relics are situated here. I think we've got about 3 maybe in this area. Or we definitely used to. Looks like some of them may have been picked up, though. But overall, he's got 3 in his vicinity, right? He's just picked one up in the center. He's got another one here, and he's got another one over here that's being guarded by double outpost. Oh, I say that. Oh, Elf. He yoinked him. He yoinked him. Let's see you, sucker. Good trade. Meanwhile, Gabble making sure that Snooper can never reach that corner. No corner camping, he says. Snooper, fine for the moment. Everything has gone very chill at the 20-minute mark, so no point of aggression just yet. I speak too soon, though. Gilv, he's in trouble. Look at the count from Duck Pond. 32 archers, 30 spearmen. The only play available to Gilv is to go elsewhere. He's going to raid in. And this kind of feels like a spiteful middle finger. Like, you're going to get taken out. The best thing you can do is at least do damage to the person who's going to do you one out. Oh, no, I mean, it's kind of rough to watch, actually. Gilv in a situation we highlight where he can't go anywhere. He's going to be your next one. Well, not next one, your first one out, in fact. As the town center on fire, about to go down. Gilv done what little damage he could. But at the end, little is all it was. One player down. Just to point out to people asking for a switch over to income per minute, that is not actually available yet in MegaRandom. Talk to people who make this game mode. We have very limited choices, I'm afraid. Otherwise, I would be on income and surplus all the time. Current resources. I wouldn't be on player score. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Luckily, the beautiful thing is in an 8-player free-for-all, there's usually so much to focus on, you don't necessarily have to worry about resources until later on when you talk about people building up big deposits, which usually becomes very apparent because 9 times out of 10, when someone's building up a huge surplus of resources, it's because they went into trade. And we aren't seeing anyone do that right now, so no cheeky intent to seek a wonder victory. Makes you wonder if we'll even see that today. Would be a nice switch up if it didn't come down to wonder victories, actually. I'm trying to remember the last time we watched one which wasn't decided by wonders. Definitely feels like it's been a while. Well, all right. Snooper, it says, this is for walling me in. Well, okay. A nice attempt. Duck Pond. Wow, he didn't stop. He kept going. Duck Pond, like, this... He's a griefer. He's actually a griefer. Look at this right now. He's still in feudal. He hasn't even tagged up. Full on offensive. He's going in for it. They're going to spread out their lines right now. Mangonels are going to counter exactly what Duck Pond's trying to achieve here, though, so he's going to have to retreat away. And superficial damage done to Jean-Marie, but nothing that's going to matter too much to him. And now a concerning situation, folks, because Duck Pond, all this cheeky feudal play, it's always going to be a little bit of cheek. As soon as he's going to get slapped on the cheeks, because he only has 1 TC, he hasn't eco-boomed up, he has limited space, limited resource, no technological advantage, and you just kicked the hornet's nest. Jean-Marie has been waiting for something to fight. And he will not take long to move out, because by taking you out, he will actually have a full back corner to expand into. And then it's just him and Pilot Elf. There'll be a war between the French sides. Meanwhile, DeMusliM still biding his time, not rushing out in any way. Interesting how calm and kind of contemplative he's being in this game. Does kind of fit with what we've seen out of Ben a lot. I feel like Ben, whenever we have seen him in these free-for-alls, he does try to get Imperial as quickly as possible. It does seem to be his preferential approach to the game. But it's going to be hard to reach for free in this. In fact, when we look at his resources... he wasn't chilling. He actually did go in. He's rushing in on the Snooper, and Snooper has nothing here to defend him. Instead, he's starting to build on the north side. But remember what we already highlighted, folks. North side is not safe. And you just encounter Pilot Elf. I think Snooper might be 7th place at this rate. Too many knights here. And look, he's rubbing his hands together. Ben's like, give it to me. You're an HRE player. I know what you've been doing. Give me the goodies. Say thank you very much as he picks up that relic. Knights will start to just torch through everything. Infrastructure is being built up by Snooper, but to what avail? Like, what was your plan here? How are you actually going to hold this? Really to highlight the issue of what Snooper's done here. This area is very lacking in terms of room to build. That's why he didn't really have any sort of military infrastructure here to try and hold in the first place. And with the new line of Knights coming in, I think this is where Snooper just waves the white flag for this base and prays that he's never discovered in the north side because he's going to be down to only one landmark. Could easily be no landmarks as well with what's happening here. I mean, that is a lot of stone. Is Elf going to do... Elf could drop keeps. Elf could actually just drop keeps and box him in. And remember that Elf knows about this location. Remember he had the outpost that he built ages ago that Snooper should have denied in the first place. Shouldn't have allowed this to go up. But because it is there, Elf has a clear target in mind. And he's prepping the stables, so it is going to be a hard push into Knights, and he can just roam through and insta-blitz this down. The Palace of Swabia will not last long against that type of torch damage. Meanwhile, Gabble at least playing for the back corner. However, this is going to be a short-lived dream at this rate for Gabble, because after Snooper's dealt with in this corner, Ben has only one other target nearby, and it is going to be the Roost player to his south side. Meantime, HREs and motion repairs have delayed the siege of the base, but looks like we're at the end of this tether at this point. No way you can easily hold on. Pilot Elf has got two of the sacred sites. Not really in a position to defend all three. We haven't seen anything out of Salami. Just being typical Salami at this stage. He finds himself a corner. He vibes for 40 minutes. He promises to play later on. If he does, usually it's in some ratty fashion. Of course, we've seen Salami come under fire very early on. I don't know if that was due to people being frustrated with that start, but no matter what you do to this guy, he always finds a way to survive. I usually refer to Dinky King as the cockroach of MegaRandom free-for-alls. I think this right here is your... What if Dinky King's the cockroach, what would we call Salami? It would have to be... probably one of the Fallout roaches, right? He's a Fallout roach. Because he seems to actually just take what Dinky used to do and then times it by 10. Like, the way he finds a way of surviving is always impressive. And Salami, no matter what he's doing, usually gives you an interesting game to watch. Although, I do prefer it when he's under fire. I'm going to be biased about this. I'm going to say it's much funner when he's being punished because he does weird things. As opposed to sitting in his corner and just building up a strong base. Speaking of corners, right now, Duck Pond is beginning to expand into this corner freely. Not sure how long that's going to be allowed. Jean-Marie looks like it's going to be allowed for quite a while longer because look what Jean-Marie's doing. He's being aggressive. So Pilot Elf is going after the other French player, saying there can be only one. Oh, sorry. There can be only one. There we go. Do it correctly. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's enough stereotype of French people. Jean-Marie now starting to react. But remember, this is Imp French versus Castle French. And Pilot Elf hasn't been harassed at any stage. He hasn't had to contest at any stage. He's notably ahead of everyone to the east of him. At least here in the north. Actually in the south as well. I mean, this is still very much recovery mode for Snooper. His eco count isn't going to be that impressive. 91 at this stage. Compare it to Pilot Elf, who's up 176. What? All right. Elf going for the classic. I will take everything on the map strategy. I was expecting 140, 150 maybe. Not 176. Good God. That's a ridiculous number. Oh, and Salami, he went in. He went on Jean-Marie's base. He made his move in a choke point as well, so you can't even wrap the Knights. The Mangonels are going to work out. English Knights holding you at bay as well in this choke point. Damage is stacking up fast. Remember, Jean-Marie is not the Imperial Age French player, so you can't even get good trades against this as equal trades, because he's not even getting the charge-ins. That's the other detail. Remember, when you charge in with the Royal Knights, you do get bonus damage for 5 seconds, but that is just simply not it here. Mangonels making this all a worthwhile trade. No front line left for Jean-Marie. Arbaletriers and archers trying to hold back the longbow, but having to get in range of not only those longbows, but also the Mangonels. And even on the home front, these trades don't exactly feel great for Jean-Marie. Some more ground may be forfeited over. Villagers were pulled back. He's going to pull him to the front line, though. Oh. If Salami sees this, he can snipe a lot of villies right now. And there it is. He turns and burns onto it. Heavy damage in. The repair crew is going to be forced away. More knights coming in the meantime to equal out what Jean-Marie is doing. And it looks like Salami is going to gain some more ground off the back of this. The high ground is maintained by Jean-Marie with the Mangonels. Those Mangonels are not going to last long when you rush in with knights like this. In under the trebuchet, target them down. One goes down first. Won't be the last. And because he's reacting to this, because Jean-Marie is trying to get rid of these knights, he's actually not trading out siege. Which means that Salami is overall getting good trades. Better trades, in fact, than his opponent. And gaining ground as a result. And now the floodgates open. He moves in with the knights. And Jean-Marie, the only upside from right now is that because Pilot Elf has overboomed eco-wise to 176 villagers, he actually doesn't have a military force to push the other French player. Otherwise, this would definitely be a pinch right now. Nice snipe out from the Springald. Is going to cost him dearly, though. Just been made aware I spelled Snooper's name wrong. Fix that. You're now Snopper. Snooper complaining about how his name's being spelled as if he's going to be in this game long enough for it to matter. He's going to try, though. Starts to wall himself in. Makes himself a nice little base. And wait, what? DeMusliM? Nani? He tried to sneak a keep at the back here. Oh, Ben is not done with Snooper. Not by a long shot. He wants him. He wants to get that booty. So now 2 players know where Snooper is. 2 players now know where his last landmark is. Can you all guess what's going to happen next? Ooh, the wall's just in time. Instead, looks like DeMusliM is actually going to go after the French. Typical Englishman, right? Has a goal in mind, encounters a French person, instantly starts a war with them. These English people, I tell you. All in all, though, DeMusliM is definitely looking like one of the strongest players. Like, actually, I'd say probably the strongest right now. Elf still has a lot of concerns and question marks. I think if Salami does take out Jean-Marie, like Pilot Elf is next on the hit list, you've still got Snooper snaking in the back corner. And in comparison, I haven't seen any aggression out of Gabble. Gabble has very much just been a I don't have troops, please don't hurt me type player, right? And he's also been walled off now, so it's not like he can easily access DeMuslim's base. Overall, I can see a world in which DeMusliM very easily carves up what feels like a third of this map for himself. And it's going to be a weird third. It's not going to be a cross-section. It's going to be across like this. You see with my cursor? Like, he's just going to take a chunk of this diamond. I haven't checked in on Duck Pond in a while. It looks like he is starting to boom up, actually. Hardening the racks as well, so hardening the man-at-arms. We'll see if it pays off. Realistically, you want to get some trebuchets. You're starting to encounter the French now, so you need to start blitzing through their base. You could even maybe coordinate with a certain Australian to the west, wink, wink. And you could find a way of smashing through Elf. It is awkward, though, because if you do get rid of Elf, you just essentially empower DeMusliM. It's one of the weird balance points when you play free-for-alls. Taking out one of the strongest players leaves the other strongest player even more powerful, right? Because the balance check is thrown out of proportion. So you have to be very careful about how you approach both Elf and DeMusliM here. Otherwise, taking out a power in the north will lead to the rise of one in the south and vice versa. Salami, the power from the east, though. Still being a sneaky bugger over here, building up armies and having to never worry about any sort of aggression sent towards him. I say that, though, Gabble's starting to roam out in this direction. Question mark as to what the plan is, mind you. Wait. Okay, the plan is simple, folks. Burn the wood wall, kill everything. What? Salami, come on. A small stone wall has to be worth it here. Just to make sure you don't get insta-flank. I hate watching this. I hate watching players do this. It's so... Come on. Just a baby wall here. Bro, come on. They get the high ground, they kill everything. We'll see if Salami survives. Luckily for him, no attention is being pushed his way. Plenty of his attention being pushed back towards Jean-Marie again, though. And Jean-Marie, oh no. The outposts have been built up. This is about to be a one-sided fight, folks. Last time, there was no aura. This time, it's the 50% attack speed buffer coming out for Salami. He's about to down everything in front of him. Front line already gone. Back line about to break like Batman's back in the movie. As Jean-Marie will not be back from this. He's AFK, his army's not responding. It seems he's gone on a coffee break. Or maybe he's just prematurely given up. Done that World War II start and he's just waving the white flag already because there's nowhere for him to go. Jean-Marie is donezo in this game. No standing army. Being pinched on multiple sides. Blocked out by Salami. And now will be booted out of this game. He tries to rush up to keep defensively, but that is way too many knights. There's no way you even get this up. It's going to be a massacre. Avert your eyes. This is not acceptable to be broadcast to public people. Actually, no, I'm curious. Can he even get the keep? I think not. I think our assessment of the situation was correct, folks. That is a incomplete keep and an incomplete civilization, as Jean-Marie will not realize his potential will go later in this game. We had high hopes for the 44th seed on the ranked leaderboards. But he's done spreading his seed here. No farmlands, no base, no nothing left. Everything is going to be dead for the Cyan Blue French player. And then there's only one Sacre Bleu left in this game. It is going to be Pilot Elf, who is next to big old blue here in the corner, Snooper. He's more or less consolidated his forces now, right? He's recovered. I am still concerned about that one landmark to rule them all, though. He needs to sneak out and rebuild his... He has! He's done it! Wait, but... There's no way. There's no way that you get away with this. DeMusliM's going to send a few trebs. I'm pretty sure of that. I can't believe Gabble snuck in for the gold, though. Snooper's just like that person that they had a house back in the middle of like some backwater somewhere. They moved to a city, and then they go back after like a family member dies, right? And they discover like a stray dog and a homeless person in their house. Like, get out! Get out of here! This rundown place will become our kingdom once again, boys. Question mark on how long it will be that way, though. At least for the moment, though, it seems that DeMusliM is distracted and massacring in the center. As the French experience a shellacking from the English, historically accurate, of course. And he's experiencing it on two fronts because it looks like the moves are being made by Duck Pond. Mainly Lombos here, not the best solution up against Elite Royal Knights. Spearmen are at least doing the business. And the worry for Elf right now is he's going to be stretched thin because you can see there's going to be a move forward in the center. DeMusliM is going to shrink his influence over this map by a substantial quantity. Salami still hasn't even finished off Jean-Marie yet. Has teched up an Imperial with a very interesting placement for the Berkshire Palace. And Snooper, he's coming back home. It is the story I described. But there's a twist in this story. The family member that died was murdered. And Ben was responsible for it. Get him! He may have jumped the gun by revealing his forces, though. I have my doubts right now. Like a character out of LA Noire as to how effective this is going to be. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Because Ben is coming. So you better get this party started. And you've got a lot to party through here. This is not going to be quick. Keep being targeted out. Villagers drunk. Not repairing for some... What? What the hell was that? It's like they turned up with wheat. They're like, wait a second. We can't repair a castle with wheat. Oh... Here we go, though. Ben responded now. Spearman trying to target out the Knights. The Knights wrap around the backside onto the siege line. Hand cannon is going to hold for the moment, but Longbow's starting to arrive. Attack speed buffer is not there. Good target by Snooper, getting rid of the aura to make sure that this is a more even fight. However, the hand cannoneers are going to be no match for the Longbows. Longbows able to target from range. No arrow volley being used just yet by Ben, but even without the arrow volley, even without the aura, this is a one-sided affair. With all the infantry being mopped up and the siege only remaining, it's going to be an easy cleanup for Voldemort. Especially with the trebuchets from range. Say goodbye to the siege. Woo. Well, at least he still has his base, right? But for how long? Looks like the distractions in the north have kept Elf from targeting south side. Because he's busy raiding north side. He's found his way in. Duck Pond, there's a lot to get through of his base, though. Did go for the Wingard Palace. Does have Imperial Ace, so 3 landmarks still remaining to be sniped down. But looks like there is going to be a move towards those landmarks right now. In fact, the second one already going down. So Duck Pond, only 2 remaining, and one of them is the King's Palace. Duck Pond looking like he's about to be the 3rd player out here. As the Elite Royal Night Rush is unanswered. Duck Pond seemingly not having the resource to afford an army. You can see it there. He definitely has the infrastructure, 1,000,001 racks, but just not 1,000,001 food to push Spearman with. So the King Palace will go down. Wingard Palace targeted out as well. Duck Pond will be your 6th place finisher here in the MegaRandom free-for-all. And all of a sudden, Elf now with that north side more or less to himself. Salami has staked slightly over here with the Berkshire Pass, but unlikely to impede further into French territories. Instead, he'll now start targeting out the center. Probably looking to establish a forward base, either with a focal point on a Sacred Site victory, or just a staging point to move forward towards both DeMusliM and Pilot Elf's base. But DeMusliM right now is moving towards Snoopers. Snooper, how are the reserves looking right now? Reasonable, but not that impressive. Not when you compare to what Ben's got in reserves. His goal's a little bit lacking, but everything is so damn healthy. Everything else, the food, the wood, even the stone, looks really good for the Bull Brit here. So does this Treb Battalion moving in. The hand cannoneers, the Lombos, counting out everything that Snooper's trying to push. An unimpressive fight from the Aussie here. Maganel's trying to make it a little bit better, a little bit tastier for him. The hand cannoneers pull deeper just to try and stick on top of the Lombos, but the trade out is just one-sided and it is not Snooper-sided. He's at least trying to make it better with the Spearman pull now onto the Trebs. The Trebuchets essentially just becoming throwaways, but as we just highlighted with the resource drain, one player can afford this, one cannot. Snooper now below 1,000 surplus gold. Of course, DeMusliM has always been around that number, but food and wood will sustain him for as long as possible, and Longbowman are really all he needs to counter out everything that Snooper is pushing right now. Meanwhile, Gabble still has not made a single damn move that we've seen. Maybe we missed one, though, because he switched up from Horse Archers, so he must have thrown away an army somewhere. Speaking of throwing away armies, look what good old Elf found. Oh, nice play there with the palings in the choke point. Nice move by Salami. Will stabilize him here, as the English and French have encountered each other from the east to the west. Meanwhile, the southern Englishman continues his assault. Now switching up into Horseman, gaining more ground here. Horseman, a solid selection up against what Snooper's pushing. Only a few Spearmen coming out in this composition. The hand cannoneers can clean that up. And the Trebs are going to gain more ground. And Snooper, you can't give over too much ground, my friend. As we've already pointed out, you only have one landmark up here. You did rebuild in the south, but the concern is if you lose this base, that's it. You will not be able to rebuild down here quick enough. And I have a feeling that if he does ever reach your Palace of Schwabia, it's not going to take long for Voldemort to realize what's happened. And at that point, he can instantly just turn around and finish you off. Probably not the best choice of words, but you get the point. Wow. What? Elf took this fight? No way. Okay. I'm going to pour him one shot. I'm going to pour me two. Because he looks like he needs it, and I needed to try and understand what the hell this play was. This was not a good trade for Elf, ladies and gents. Salami was always going to win that. The only way this works is if you wrap around south side, but for some reason, Elf took him head on in a choke point with palings deployed, meaning he'd done barely any damage to the Lombos. I have much doubt over the validity of that play, Mr. Elf. This one I like a bit more, though. The rush through, 73 Knights on the move. Berkshire Pass being targeted out, 4 base being built up by Salami. A long way to go to reach the rest of his landmarks, but Knights, they're the thing that can do it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Salami considers walling himself in with stone walls, because then the Knights can do nothing. But now, they are going to have a substantial impact, taking out the Berkshire Pass to begin with. And Salami, oh, if only he'd done that a little bit sooner, that could have been cheeky. I was hoping, I was wishing, if any player was going to get a mass convert in a free-for-all, it was going to be Salami, but no dice. Snooper, he rolled the dice on this aggression into Benny Boy's base, and you're seeing it starting to backfire now. This is looking quite problematic for the Aussie. Walls have been breached and been manned now by the hand cannoneers. Worst case situation. Now these hand cannoneers with some premium range, almost at longbow range, in fact, up at 6-tile range. And this is where the fights will get one-sided on the outskirts. If anything, you need to fall back and get a secondary line of defense because you just can't hold these walls anymore. And if I was Snooper right now, I would be like full all caps typing, why the hell are you doing nothing, Gabble? If I saw this map and saw what's happening here, I would be questioning why the Roost player has not once attacked Ben. He's been sitting here, unassaulted by Ben, and not assaulting Ben himself. And you have to question why, when there's so much value, right? The TC, the IB of King's Insight, easily the Berkshire Pass not too far off. Same with the King's Pass. Like, realistically, it would not take much for him to breach through. There seems to be some sort of gentleman's parlay here. I can't think of any other reason why he hasn't gone in. Instead, now he's going to go in the center. And once again, I'm puzzled as to where he's going here. It looks like he's trying to just get more gold as he's draining the corner. But, like, what's the end goal for Gabble? Like, you can't just not fight, right? But you can, but don't be surprised when you lose the game, because someone else took more gains. Speaking of fighting, DeMusliM now getting deeper into the base. Snooper. This is an spaghetti. The shattering projectiles. Shattering his soul right there. These English trebuchets are mighty lethal. A lesson that Snooper is quickly learning. The hand cannoneers and longbows now going to push deeper as a result of this. Into the choke points. Choke points aren't going to benefit you because there's barely any melee coming out from Ben. It's all range. It means it's going to be very easily done to take Snooper out at this rate. Food surplus drying up fast. Gold, still plenty in reserve, but now wood is all gone. And Snooper, this was important. He snuck out onto the wood line, but only 18 villagers. Can he afford this is the big question mark in our mind now. As the hand cannoneers are pushing in, targeting out the man-at-arms as they spawn. These trades no longer work, and unless someone else comes to attack Ben, Snooper is next on the hit list. He'll try to rat his way in to the back corner again, right? Try to wall up and survive here as he builds up stables on the backside, maybe going in for raids, but he alone cannot slay the beast. Ben looking in full control of this game right now. You can kind of tell on the scores that it's that way. The only person likely to compete is Elf. And Elf right now is distracted by Salami. Gaining a lot of ground here, folks. More Knights pushing through. Salami in trouble. Will do the wall up we talked about, and this is a solid solution. Remember that right now, Elf is only pushing Knights, which means he cannot burn through these walls at all. Meanwhile, Ben has found his target. He will look to burn through the pass of Schwabia. And this is what I was talking about. The moment this goes down, you know exactly what's happened. If Snoop was still alive, it's because he rebuilt his old base. And it already looks like he might be aware of that. Keep in position so DeMusliM will prevent any flank attack. And the new line of horsemen building up. It will not take long to breach through and access the remnants of Snooper's existence. All the villagers into the corner. Snooper, only 80 eco units left. No easy way to get himself back in this game. I think we have definitely found our fourth victim here in the free-for-all. While that's happening. What? Gabble went after Pilot Elf. Oh, that doesn't look like a good trade. That's not a good trade. Choke points are your friend, Gabble. Not open battlefields. Not when you push Streltsy. So that's going to be an army wipe. What's Gabble going to do now, though? How are his reserves looking? Decent amount in reserve, but an awkward way to throw away force for little gained here. Once again, I'm very perplexed. Why did he not go after DeMusliM? DeMusliM is clearly the biggest threat right now. Maybe he's being baited by the scores. He's seeing that Pilot Elf is further ahead, so he targets him. But you've got one of these powerhouse players right next to you. Surely you have to go after him. You could argue, oh, well, he's not attacking me right now, so I'm fine. How long is that going to remain true? Right? This is a free-for-all at the end of the day, Gabble. So, yes, he might not be attacking you for the moment, but if you're unwilling to put a dent into him, he will turn and burn you at the end, and there'll be nothing you can do to combat that. Let's see if Snooper was a smart cookie about this. Does he have villagers still? 5 villagers. If he waits and times this right, he might be able to sneak out and rebuild the Palace of Schwabia. It's going to be tight timing, though. And he's definitely on the clock because the Trebs have wheeled across. They are looking to breach the gate already. And Snooper, oh, they are going to cut deep into his soul here. No easy way to hold this high ground. Doesn't really have a standing army anymore. Doesn't really have outstanding resources to provide that army. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ben's smart about this and just leaves a few longbows here. Just a few longbows will prevent him from rebuilding the pass. Like the elf is starting to expand out, take these wood lines. It's mainly about chopping through to get past the stone walls, but it's also beneficial just to get these resources out in no man's land. He's being depleted of wood back at base, right? So it's nice to always have these reserves instead of having to rely upon them now. Funky choke. Wait. He doesn't know about this choke point. I'm curious to see if that will actually matter later on. Can we just talk about Snooper right now with all these... Like, dog, you don't need more wood. You really don't need more wood. You need gold. You need anything else. And the single horseman. Optimus priming this, saying, I'll take you all on. Mistakes were made. I believe this is the end of... Well, this is definitely the end of Snooper's tale now. I'm almost certain they are teaming at this stage. Like, I don't, like... I'm not going to outright say that they are, but it definitely feels like this is teaming between DeMusliM and Gabble. They haven't attacked each other at all. They target Snooper out. They're now pinching him on both sides. How does he know to be here at this time, by the way? Like, maybe you're worried that you're going to get backstabbed, but still, like, the way that Gabble played around DeMusliM to the center and ignored him entirely, and then threw his army away on Pilot Elf, like, all this speaks to them, like, grouping up. I don't know if DeMusliM has coerced him necessarily. I think maybe Gabble just chose to, but, like, DeMusliM has clearly identified this, and now he doesn't need to target Gabble at all. It's always frustrating when this happens. That's why having some money on the line is quite nice, because then you kind of alleviate that concern. But we have to remember, this isn't a full pro lobby. Not everyone in here is in the top 100 per se. So maybe it's just better this way. Maybe it's just better this way, Snooper. Think about it like this. You get out of this mess, you go on the ladders, you stomp people in 1v1s, go for that top 10 spot, because DeMuslim's going to be stuck in this game probably for another hour, while you can easily just gain elo on him. Easy clap. Regnitz Cathedral, soon to go down. Repairs too slow. Took us a while to get there, but it looks like we're about to say bye-bye, baby, to good old Snooper. Definitely when this happens, yep, there's the Russian, and if they don't fight, I'm calling coercion. Let's find out. Because they'll see each other, right? The siege might... Ooh, not quite. Keep running. Keep. Run. I don't know. They're playing this really well to make it look like they're not working together. Like, whoa, we didn't see each other. It does feel dodgy. It feels really dodgy. By the way, Snooper's still alive. You may notice everything didn't go grey because he did sneak back into his base, but I wondered to what end. The reason I didn't hype this up is because of what's happening here. Unless Elf has offered his protection, Elf can just kill Snooper off now. Well, there'll be no base here at least. Snooper does have a small... Oh my god, he actually still has a repair crew back. Wait, but Gabble knows about this. Gabble should go kill these right now. You do not want to let him have a chance to rebuild for the third time. Actually, be rebuilding the second time because the first time technically was a build, not a rebuild. Dude, Ben. Oh, it's always fun when you got Ben doing the Benny Hills. He's back and forth on this one. He's going back towards the base now. He knows what's happened again. Please, please, yes, yes, he's doing it. He's going back in to build again. And the timing is going to be perfect. Oh my god. Snooper, I love you. This is just brilliant. This is just bitterness right now. It's like, well, if I can't win, I'm at least going to make it less like you guys can, because you're going to waste all this time trying to kill me 24/7. Middle fingers them as he goes back into his pace to rebuild the town center again. This is brilliant. Also, the emergency repairs. Don't ask me why. Seems reasonable. Oh, Snooper. Never change. Never change. Meanwhile, on the north, Salami forced to fight. The wood line was finally breached. So Salami needs to get a villager across to quickly build this up while his troops can hold. And I don't think they're going to hold for long, because although you got Spearmen, it is a lot of Royal Knights. I say that, the Royal Knights didn't get the charge off. Spearmen are bracing, but clearly overwhelmed. The backstab now coming out from Salami, but that's just going to be met by a small contingent of Knights here as the line spread out. And when they do spread out, you know the French have the lead here, because they've got 364 health compared to your 324. No aura either. Salami, mistakes made. Needed to take this fight after the outpost was up. Instead, is a completely one-sided affair. Will at least get new walls up, but needs the wall over here, and he needs to be fast. Maybe the distraction works, but it's going to be tight. Remember, they changed it. Stone walls can be targeted before they are fully constructed. This should be something Elf is aware of. Elf, attack them. Attack them. No. I'm sorry, it really gets to me when people don't attack walls. Elf just looks like a confused puppy right now. Meanwhile, Snooper looks like a dog on his way to the vets to be put down, as they'll look to put an end to him again, but he rebuilt the TC already. It's back up and operational. Wait, where are they? They're building walls now as well. Oh my god, Snooper. The radioactive cockroach. I love it. Do you love it? Can you taste it? I can indeed. Pasta Swab is going to go down again. Now, he wants to repair this. You want it, like, just keep it alive, because the longer it's alive, the longer they think this is the end. Go pull the villagers out now. Looks like they are going to be going down. He even goes back to farming. And the Pasta Swab is gone. So apparently, Snooper and Elf had an alliance. I could believe it. I feel like there's two alliances in this. There's Snooper and Elf, and then there's also Gabble and DeMusliM. Feels bad for Salami, by the way. Why does no one want to be Salami's friend? Sometimes I imagine that Salami's that kind of awkward person in a social gathering that, like, they try to make a friend by, like, standing next to someone and then saying, do you want some sausage? And then, like, pulling a giant slab of salami out of their pocket, right? Nobody wants to be friends with that. Like, you can say you get free sausage, but there's plenty of situations in the world where you can get free sausage, and that's not a good thing. Damn, the spear push, though. Oh, no, no. Elf, it was a good idea, but there is no way in, my lord. The keep is enclosed. In fact, he even stonewalled on the east side, so you can't even access there. Not much away. So apparently a lot of this info was typed about the alliances in-game. Really frustrated that we still don't have the ability to see that in the replay. Like, we got to get it together, Relic. That and things like you know, Sacred Site still not having a timer. Like, I need these changes. I need them ASAP. We shouldn't be, is it 7 months now since release? And still not having these. I'm annoyed. I want to see the chat messages, dude. I love chat interactions. I'm a person who wholly believes that playing the game is only half of the challenge, right? Like, the other, the mind games, the mental fortitude, these things matter. And being able to type, to just tilt people or coerce in this situation just makes it all the much more fun to watch. So Ben back in for the Pasta Swab here again. It got rebuilt again. Oh my god. And the walls. Dude, Snooper is just laughing this whole while. He has to be. But I think we are reaching the final episode in the Chronicles of Snooper. Because the Trebs are moving in on 2 locations now. And yep, Gabble's back at it again. The Anglo-Rus alliance, ladies and gents. Had to wait until World War I for... Well, actually, we had to wait for Prussia in real life. Don't feel like we had to wait that long in this situation. Actually, I guess it's kind of appropriate with the Imperial Age, considering like the time scale. It's around that time. It fits. And everything will fit through this small enclosure and out into the HRE base for the final hurrah. This time, Snooper will be finished off. Not in a way that leaves a smile on his face. Oh no, this is just going to be sadness. Although maybe he has a smile on his face. Right now, Snooper's like, I wasted 20 minutes of your life at least extra. But it won't be 20 minutes more. Snooper is out, ladies and gents. Your fourth player, yes, to be eliminated. And then there are 4 remaining. Salami still under fire from Elf, but gaining a lot of ground now because the Spearman switch up forces out the Archer switch up. Are we about to just have a back and forth for 1 unit type? Please God, no. So you just go back for Knights now if you're the English, right? And then they go back for Knights as well, and then you go for Spear, and then they go for Arch. No, please, we'll be here for another hour. Please God, no. Meanwhile, Ben, starting to get frisky with good old Elf here. Elf, this would be the time to make an alliance with Salami, sir. I would highly recommend an alliance with the lowest score player against the 2 highest score players here. Just want to point out that might be a good idea, Mr. Elf. I hope he's going to do it. Otherwise, this is going to be a very clear win for DeMusliM or Gabble. I mean, realistically, Gabble should be at a point where he turns on DeMusliM, right? Because this is the thing, like Gabble, okay, so this is kind of Game of Thrones mode now. When do I make the backstab happen? Because if you wait too late, then it's just going to be you 2 people left. And at that stage, DeMusliM's going to be ahead of you. In fact, when we look at the resources, Gabble has been building up plenty of reserves, but so is DeMusliM. DeMusliM has more resource than him. And also, you're talking late game English. I feel like late game English is going to be better than late game Rus. Your Streltsy are cheaper than hand cannoneers as a comparative, but the English get this benefit of just farms, right? Like, DeMusliM's able to float less on eco because he's getting 2 resources out of these farms. Not just food, but also the gold. It's me and DeMusliM. Army moving in, and I wondered if this was going to come around. We highlighted it earlier. It's finally coming into play. Why go through the walls when you can just go around them? Hand cannoneers are a little bit exposed, though, with the backstab coming out. Gunpowder, baby. It's boom, boom time. Over targeting the Knights down 1 by 1. Not the best of trades, so DeMusliM will micro it out. They'll split up the forces, so they go after different targets. Trying to maximize his DPS. Frontline is about to fall for him, though. The peppering from the archers is starting to add up fast here. Salami, in the meantime, don't you dare. Don't you dare, you filthy rat. Do not attack Elf. You can see he's thinking about it. He's stroking his chin right now. There's a cheeky grin on Salami's face. We all know the one I'm talking about. DeMusliM, so many hand cannoneers, but he doesn't care. He can afford to insta-replace them. Same with Elf. But, like, one opponent is in their base, the other one is not, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if an orange army is going to march forward soon. We'll have to see, though. For the moment, he's biding his time. I think he's waiting. This could actually be the worst time to do a backstab. So if Gabble backstabs DeMusliM now, well, DeMusliM just lost the army. So he's rebuilding at home as it stands. Also, Elf might now get drawn into another fight with Salami because he's expanding west. So a natural clash is going to occur on the north side. When realistically, what you want to be doing as Gabble is you want to be attacking DeMusliM when Elf is attacking him. I don't think that's going to happen here. I think Ben's going to back up now. In fact, does he see this? He sees a patrol, so he knows something is nearby. He knows that Gabble has made no move. The best thing that Ben can do right now is not much another army out, but instead prep on the south side. But it looks like for now, being paranoid because Elf is moving out of his base, he will continue to react on the north. And it all comes down to Salami's move. Salami actually is the most important detail in this Final Four. Like, Salami is basically Kingmaker. Salami can choose who wins this game. Or more importantly, with this next move, who loses it. Because with this move in, Elf is going to be next on the chopping block. Because right now, DeMusliM is renewing the assault, and Salami is moving forward on the west side. A little bit more typing going out. Maybe some reasonable discussions being had about who should be targeted next. Guys, you should all go after DeMusliM. He's got almost 20,000 player score. He has got 20,000 player score. In a sec. We need to kill him. Oh, no, guys, don't go after DeMusliM. Oh, wait, there we go. 20,000. Kill him. Fight going his way. Hand cannon is with the attack speed. The French can't deal with this. Even the cheaper archers, it's just not a good trade for him. The peppering coming out. The front line folding fast. This is the deceit of this matchup, by the way. The Royal Knights, yes, they are incredible units. But against a 50% attack speed buff for the elite Knights of the English, they are no match. That's why he's going to wheel it back. Salami fortifies himself in. Looks like he's not going to choose who to make king right now. Gabble, the only way that he can skew the balance of power away from Salami deciding who wins is if he makes a move on Salami himself. But right now, it seems that Gabble has gone to walk the dog, as he has not moved for what feels like at least 5 minutes now. In terms of wonder, possibly, I'm wondering if anyone's holding resources. It looks like no. Elf could go for it. He has 20,000 stone. Elf could very easily play towards a wonder. I think he's paranoid about the east side, though, right? Like, Salami's gained a lot of ground, so he could be rushed here. But as it stands, the only one who could possibly consider a wonder is Elf, because Gabble, although he has the resources, minus gold, needs to sort gold. If he goes for a wonder victory, he can instantly be turned upon. Like, Ben's right next to him, and he's turned on Ben. He's gone in. He made his move. He finally done it. The patience he waits to bait DeMusliM out, and now DeMusliM with an army completely away from home. He could blitz him. He needs to be quick, though. Rush forward, get the bombards in, target out the landmarks, go for nothing else. Horsemen marching through. Army counterattacking now. Ben in position already. Streltsy need to counterattack this out. The bombards just need to be rolling on through. Abbey King's being targeted out. The bonus health from the university, though, is adding up. Taking longer to get through the infrastructure than he'd like. And Ben, the timing on this, look at the move coming out from Elf. Elf, he's not even going after him. Instead, Salami now making a move to the south side as well. They're looking to wrap onto Ben. DeMusliM, he might come under fire from 3 targets. It just matters as to what Elf does. Elf, if he shifts to the east side, he might assault Salami, at which point Ben can hold. But it all comes down to how they organize this. The routes of entry are going to matter a lot. Gabble keeping the push going. Plenty of resources in reserve, except for gold. Gold is his lacking detail here. He needs it for everything, for the Streltsy, the bombard, anything he wants to push. He's putting a dent in. Ben gets the army back. DeMusliM looking to hold on to this. Meanwhile, Salami looking for a march in, a point to come in from, and he's going to find one. The incomplete wall. The stone wall's not complete. The torches are out. Mistakes have been made. Ben, with a slight chink in the armor, one that will be fully exploited by Salami. He's in. And only palisades from here on out. Meanwhile, Elf will look to march on the west side, where there is also open ground. Ben is about to come under fire from 3 different enemies. One of them a former ally. They need to be fast, or it's going to end up being 2, as Gabble cannot hold on for long here. The good news for Gabble, these Mangonels going to find value against the hand cannoneers, and the hand cannoneers do not have the attack speed buffs. They don't do this increased DPS compared to the Streltsy. The Streltsy will blitz him and force him away. Ben in dire straits right now. The push in, the stab from the north side. Salami throwing the army in deep. Says there can be only one English player on this map, and it will be me. They won't hold true just yet. Army is going to be wiped. Shattering projectiles adding a lot of damage in terms of splash upon the man-at-arms. And as it stands, Ben is stabilizing with 1 landmark remaining. 1 landmark keeping him in this game. Salami, he tunnel visioned in onto the King's Palace. Yes, he got rid of it, but the Windguard Palace still stands. Oh, baby. This is a delicate phase of the game right now. A very delicate phase for DeMusliM. And it's all due to the cowardice of Elf. If Elf had rushed in from the west side, if he went straight for the Wingard Palace, maybe Ben would be gone. But Ben, now able to stabilize himself, will push back Gabble. Because Lombos, folks, Lombos the answer to Streltsy. No attack speed buffer still, yet he takes reasonable trades. The Bombards will survive, but Gabble, he can't replace what was lost now. Look at his gold. Oh my, Salami trying to get a new army out quick enough, but Elf? Elf? What? What is this play? Oh my God. Renamed DeMusliM Santa because Elf is his little helper. What is this play? This just completely skewed the balance of power. Salami was meant to be the kingmaker, but instead, Elf has just crowned DeMusliM. I can only assume Salami said something about Elf's mum in the chat, because there is no logical explanation for this target. Oh my goodness. And now Ben will stabilize and push forward. Gabble has been sold out. Gabble right now, he's sending out pigeons, messages to his assumed allies. When are you coming? When can we expect reinforcements? Every single pigeon sent out never comes back. Because pigeons can detect winners, and Gabble is not that. No, Gabble, he's crippled now, weakening fast. It seems the battle in the north and the battle in the south, they want to turn this into an elimination bracket format all of a sudden. And Elf, he won't find it that easy to eliminate Salami. Salami holds and pushes him back. Elf, what in the damn hell were you thinking? Clearly was seduced by the magnificent, shining head of DeMusliM as he's been converted to the Benny Boy cause. And now, push back to the walls, keep slowly crumbling. It's all going to fall apart here for Gabble. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. All your landmarks basically on one screen. Okay, fairness, he's got a high trade house up here. But he hasn't got much further to retreat before he is in on his own eco lines. And with the Treb line being renewed, you know that it's just a matter of time now. Outpost being built up, DeMusliM doesn't miss a trick. And apparently, there's a truce that was trying to be organized. If Pilot gave Salami a relic, I guess there was a disagreement. Elf decided that he's less Elf and more Schmiegel. As he says, I will not give up my precious. And now Salami in a back and forth war, the 100-year war. As once again into the breach, Elf will ride. Once again upon the Berkshire Bass, he will burn. Meanwhile, much more burning in Gabble's base. Another keep going down. 3 already struck through. Switch over to Horse Archers is not going to be good enough to hold him here. He goes for it because he wants the additional tile range. But against this many Longbowmen, I just don't see a way. It's slow, but it's gradual. And DeMusliM can afford this all. Food and wood reserves looking mighty healthy for the Englishman. Meanwhile, north side, another big clash coming out. Salami racing with the melee force up against the Knights. Should be able to hold his opponent at bay. Hasn't rebuilt the walls. Has got backup walls behind them though. And the forward infrastructure will ensure that he is always well layered against the Knight Assault. A Knight Assault that is just not a good trade for Elf. Think about the cost of a spear, 80 resource. Compare that to a Knight, 240 resource. And because Salami's on the defensive, it's not like you have to talk about mobility malice here. Like, he's not at a disadvantage. He holds these choke points. He overwhelms each time and pushes Elf back every time he renews the assault. And it means that at this rate, Elf might find himself depleted faster than Salami. Salami's sitting on not that much reserve in terms of wood or gold, but the food is more than healthy enough to keep him afloat. Ben. It looks slow still, but it's the Treb count. Remember that you had barely any Trebs. Now he's back up to 7. And this is where it escalates fast. The keeps won't last long. The shattering projectiles, the target onto the bombards. Everything's going to fall apart now. In the next 3 minutes, Gabble is dead. If that. Meanwhile, never dead. Salami. The radioactive cockroach. Getting a lot of freebies as these knights are riding in a Congo line of death, as I like to refer to it. More troops at least arriving now for Elf. And he's going for the 4 keeps. This could be big if he gets it up. You can see the defense is actually being structured by Salami. He actually needs that attack speed, or that's the issue. He was taking a fight with the attack speed buffer, and now he's out of range, which is why this is one-sided. Remember, this is very big for the English in the late game. If you want to know how to use it, just look at what Ben's doing. This is how you do it. This is how you use it. Always in range of the attack speed buffer. A buffer that comes out on your Trebs and your Lombos, attacking with these Trebs every 8.5 seconds. Which is why he's able to quickly dispatch everything in front of him. The Rapido fire the Lombos is just overwhelming now. Gabble, even the food is shrinking. He's under 10,000 surplus now. Although he won't wave the white flag, I mean, he might as well at this stage. Unless he can make some sort of out of left field play, maybe some sort of flank attack. There's no way back in, but even with a flank attack, like, how are you going to kill off DeMusliM? He rebuilt all the landmarks. He's no longer on the edge of being pushed in the abyss. His food is suffering a little bit, but it just feels like your food is suffering more. I don't see a world in which Gabble can split off a contingent of horsemen and wrap around quick enough here. Instead, he dives in onto the Trebs. Trebs that have already really traded out their value, the amount of keeps they've killed. And only 1 or 2 of them are going to die anyway. And we have to start looking towards what's next, because with Gabble likely to be going in the next 5-minute max, it's going to come down to 3. And in that balance of power, DeMusliM is going to be king of the hill here, as he'll have the entire south side of the map to himself, while Salami and Elf never stop squabbling in the north. One never able to truly get the one up over the other. For Elf, still plenty of reserves. Salami, it's just food. Needs to stabilize his wood, is still gathering, but is running out fast, actually. I'm a little bit concerned. He does have the reserve wood, so it's not like he's going to be out of this game anytime soon. But he might end up forfeiting over more ground. Ben, so many outposts actually being built up now. The horseman switch up is good as well. Counters out the front line that Gabble's sending in, and directly counters out the elite horse archers, getting the bonus damage up against them. Even more gains. More keeps falling. Gabble running out of places to build these defenses now. I think we're going to hit the 2 times here. We've reached a stalemate. No ground is being gained in either of these fights. Not quick anyway. And there's not really much more to highlight on. I say that there's a big fat knight and archer push coming in. So Elf, this could be good enough to breach. With a forward base as well, with the keeps being established, I think we might have a breach point. And Salami might be in a little bit of a pickle. Oh my. Archers in the meantime, mopping up the lust of Gabble's army, as it looks like Gabble is more or less just going down to a net 0. In fact, he can barely keep double-digit military pop cap now. I'm surprised he hasn't called it. Maybe he's hoping one of the northern players will die first, so he can at least brag he got 3rd, but I don't think that's going to be the case, my friend. As these rats will last a lot longer. Bracing the choke point. Attack speed buffer is there, so Salami should take good trades against this. Archer's a little bit of a frustrating detail against his spearman front line. Spreading out to try and hold here. Barely any hand cannoneers in the mix. Spending the spears that are addressing the knights, trying to just plow upon them. And the cannons also being sacrificed because he's trying to target out the trebuchets. Mistakes made with the splintered walls there. Means that he had to roll around. Means he loses a bunch of the cannons. In fact, all cannons are now down. At the end of the fight, Salami will push forward with the remaining spears and hand cannoneers. But not far because of the keeps. Keeps that are going up one by one. Treb's not targeting them anymore. So stabilizing point, although Elf sacrifices a big force. Remember, he can afford this at the end of the day, time and time again, more so than Salami can. On the south side, it looks like it's finally falling apart for Gabble. He'll try to retreat to the northeast, but it's just a landmark situation now. High armory over here. High trade house up here. I don't know why. The Roos seem to name everything high. They seem to feel very fancy. He's definitely on high ground. But he's high if he thinks he can win this one anymore. as he's now the lowest score player of all 4 remaining. Now, the thing that Elf is missing is a forward base to produce units out of. I think that's the switch up that could just win this fight for Elf, and I think it's important he does it soon, because the longer he takes to kill off Salami here, the more likely it is that Ben gets in position to kill him. So realistically, like with his keeps as well, you should be building forward infrastructure, because the issue you're seeing is he gets his army wiped, and even when he's pushing knights, it takes ages to get the reinforcements to the front line. Compare that to Salami. Salami's building a base right here. He's building new troops right here. So he's instantly back into the battle, and it's why he's not giving up any more ground. Trebs now targeting out the other keeps. Front line holding for Salami in the meantime. I just think this is the proxy base issue. Like, you just need a proxy base. The archers are somewhat doing work for Elf, gaining a little bit of ground, but your front line just doesn't last long enough against the spears. And that's why you're getting mopped up every time. Like, you're realistically gaining nothing here. Speaking of gains, Gabble has nothing left to gain in this game. Maybe just waste Ben's time a little bit, but outside that, I mean, you're kind of done so here. Salami. Let's speed it up a little bit. 2 times only, so we can at least maintain the action. Trebs are gaining ground again, so Salami once again pushing back. And this really feels like Elf's mistake more than Salami just playing perfect. I mean, his strategy is cut and dry. It's a good strategy, but realistically, like, Salami's not doing anything super complex with his composition here, right? He hasn't been forced to transition. He hasn't been forced to react. Instead, Elf has just missed a trick here. He needed the forward base. He done it with the Siege Workshop, never done it with the keeps into the military infrastructure. And that's why he's now being pushed to these choke points and pushed past them, all the while losing the keeps that he built in the forefront. And now in a situation where he might struggle to rebuild them, he still has plenty of stone, but the issue is now getting back in there. And it seems like Ben isn't interested in instantly going after the high trade house. He's going to blitz the entire base down, not rushing forward to find where he's hidden that final landmark. It's more like leave no witnesses, no evidence of his existence. And oh my god, I can't believe it. Gabble, the reason he hasn't GG'd out is he's holding on hope of a better day, of a rebuild of his base to the north side. I don't see it. It's good to believe in something, right? But this feels like borderline delusion. I don't see a world in which Ben doesn't find this high trade house. And even if he doesn't, he's going to march north, right? So there's 2 choices. He goes south, he finds the high trade house. Or he goes north and he finds your new attempt to build a base. It's looking really grim. So DeMusliM thinks the final landmarks at Salami's... I mean, I wouldn't put it past Salami to allow for such a thing, but... Alright, I guess we'll see. I guess DeMusliM will just dismantle everything that Gabble has and not get the landmark snipe, maybe. I mean, vision-wise, right, he's not going to be able to see on that high ground. Wait, can he see that? Wait. No way. No way. I mean, you'd have to be actively looking for it, but it might just be a bug with observing. But it might be that DeMusliM can actually see them gathering due to the stone wall. I mean, I'm going to suspect this is just a bug of the observer tool. It could be that he sees this, though. Or rather, he should be able to see this, but hasn't noticed it. Guess we'll find out in the coming minutes. Meanwhile, north side, Salami has rebuilt the walls. So more cannons are going to be required. Elf, of course, doesn't care about the cost of that. Still sitting on plenty of surplus. Although gold is starting to dry up. In fact, gold is drying up across the map. I don't even think we've got a single gold vein left. Actually, yes, they're all gone. Literally every gold vein has been tapped. I can't see a single one on the map anymore. Wait, what? Is Elf just trying to get a good KDA? Okay. And there we go. DeMusliM did notice. He saw the villagers. That's it. Gabble is going to be the 5th player eliminated. 3 remain. Although apparently Elf didn't tell like no one told Elf this because for some reason he's killing. I think he was trying to stop the wood gathering, maybe. Or he's looking for... Yeah, okay, no, it's the keeps. He's looking for space here. He just wants to build up infrastructure. Makes sense. I wish he'd done this sooner. I feel like Elf is now in a precarious situation because he didn't get rid of Salami quick enough. I wouldn't be surprised if DeMusliM goes after Elf now, considering Salami, if you just look at its score alone, is less of a threat. And also, Ben already knows the layout of Elf's base. That's a fair point. We do have to remember that the Elf usually plays Mongols. Maybe thinks he's going to get paid for burning all these farms. Nah, it's about the keeps, folks. Remember, the French, they get a reduction on the cost of archer range and stable units via influence from keeps. Which is exactly why he's torching everything in this area. Typical French people. They take over English land. They instantly try to get rid of any proof that English people existed. William the Conqueror all over again, I tell you. Good question around can you trade with the marketplace of defeat players? I think so. I could have sworn I've seen it before. So I'm pretty sure you can. I just don't think... I don't think you're going to see it in this game. I don't think anyone's going to look to trade in this game. It would be beneficial with gold being dried up. But I think the center is just hotly contested right now. With the layout of all these players, it just feels like a risky investment that you'd lose. In fact, I believe we've cast games where it's happened where a Mongol player decided to trade with a dead HRE player's corner trade. So you definitely can. I just don't necessarily expect them to. In fact, where would you find this marketplace that you could trade with, right? Like, did he leave one alive in Gabble's base? No. Yeah, the only way they're going to trade is if they do it with neutral trade. Actually, ooh, there is a marketplace back here that belonged to Snooper. So you can maybe do it. It'd be a very safe trade route. But outside that, I don't think there's any trade options remaining. Okay, sorry, there is a little bit. There's a tiny bit of gold left. 5 villagers working on this gold, and then that's it. That will be the last vein. I'm pretty sure we haven't got anybody else on gold at all. And this, of course, benefits the English players now, because remember, you don't actually need gold veins. That's another reason I'm not expecting trade out of the English players. They don't need gold veins. They just need more farms. Because remember, you have the enclosures, which means that these farms not only are gathering food for you, they're also gathering gold. As you can see that beautiful number popping up. Feels good. Things have got very quiet. I think this is the point where they're trying to figure out who's too strong now. It could be a play towards a wonder. The only player who could do it is Pilot Elf. And he could build it, I'd say, about like here, where he's got all his siege workshops, would be a really nice placement. Also, a remarkable amount of gold trickle coming out for him. We'll have to see if Elf wants to go for it, though. He's definitely got a lot of gold. Wait, it's Ben. Ben's doing it. Ben's going for the wonder. And it is going to be a hard to reach one. I wondered if he'd go for it. I felt Elf might just because of the resources, but understandably, his position is exposed. You've got the proxy base that's been built up at Salami, and then DeMusliM has proven that he can reach your base before. Meanwhile, Salami hasn't actually assaulted into Ben's base more than once. Only one time did he come in, look for the landmark snipe. But now it's going to draw attention from 2 different directions. And Ben, well, he doesn't have that much layering right now. He's going to try to build up more stone walls. Is 15 minutes away from a wonder victory. Let's see if he can do it. And apparently, there was a lot of collusion to get rid of Ben first. Apparently, the reason that they weren't fighting either way is because they were back and forth in the chat. I wish we had that chat. It seems at the end of it, Ben didn't actually want to wait for the conclusion between all 3 players on who should be fought with next. Instead, he makes the choice for them. He will dictate his own destiny as he will attempt a wonder victory with 2 players remaining up against him. All's trying to be rebuilt. Frustrating for Salami. Just trying to get an outpost network in range that it triggers the attack speed buffer. And that'll be an easy pick off there. The shouting projectiles even knocking onto the second treble. Not that many range units here for Salami, so he can't even easily target out the villagers. Need to be careful about the way you torch this, actually. I'm not sure if this is going to be quick enough. That is not going to be quick enough. Wall's going to be complete. In fact, you're just pickings now for Ben. Elf needs to make a move. Elf is seemingly not helping right now. What is going on? Am I blind? Okay, they're on the move through the center. Seems like they're tightening their formation. I don't know if this is the way to go, though. Realistically, you want to have Elf coming from the west side and Salami from the east. That way, Ben can't actually respond to both forces one by one. Like, maybe you could argue that you sync up, but realistically in the situation, all you're doing is making it easy for Ben to wipe one army and then instantly respond to the other one, which is what he's doing now as he marches out. Longbow's attacking. Better range than the archers they're up against. Keep is going to go down. It looks like Ben has to fall back behind the wall. The wall's trying to go up. Gets blocked out, so he cannot prevent the backstab. Ben will have to retreat behind the safety of the stone walls. Salami now trying to push forward, pushing Ben back, but I mean, Ben, he's so healthy here. 12 trebs, mini mangonels, folks. The shattering projectiles can do a hell of a lot of damage, especially if your micro's on point. Let's see if they're able to do so. Seems like he's forcing Salami to turn and burn as he tries to retreat away the other way. It seems like they are headless chickens right now, not sure about where they should go or what they should do. Only a little bit of siege on the front from the two players here. Apparently there's a lot of arguing going on right now. I'm jelly. I wish I could see it. I can imagine it right now. Elf, imagine this. The fate of your game relies upon Elf and Salami working together. I mean, I could believe that this plan won't work. I could truly believe it. That's nothing against Salami and Elf. It's just like the way they play, the way that they work. I mean, I could just see this being an awkward collusion. There are certain players that you like. When you get into this collusion mode, there's big question marks being risen. And I'd say like the top 4 for me in the pro free-for-alls are Elf, Divine DFB, Core, and Salami. Wait, they're trying a Sacred Site Oh, no. So, Salami's willing to accept that Elf can be the winner. Is that where we're at? I don't know about that one, dog. I don't know about... Surely Salami's like, what? But I don't win. Why would I want that? Screw that. Kill the wonder. So right now, you've got Elf saying, God, yeah, help me get the Sacred Site. Just let me get the Sacred Site. And Salami's like, why would I do that? Why would I just let you win? Instead, Salami... Oh, apparently Salami is the one that suggested it. Okay, Salami decided he just wants to be the assistant, the squire to Elf here. But it seems like it might not work, as he needs to get a religious figure out here. He only has 30 seconds as well. He has built the monastery, but he's not building the monk. There's no monk. Okay, there we go. He finally comes out. Deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths. DeMusliM, he goes for the snipe. He goes for the snipe. The longbows, they're in. He stops it. He can't produce a monk quick enough. The clutch move out of Ben. What a play. And now it is all on the Wonder victory. You cannot get another monk out quick enough. You have to go and get rid of the cathedral. Clearly this was going to be won by religion one way or the other, but it will not be a Sacred Site victory. It might end up being a dub for the Cathedral of St. Thomas. What a play out of Ben. Costs him half the army, but totally worthwhile to cost them their win condition back behind his walls with his trebs and hand cannoneers in tow. And back to the drawing board for Salami and Elf. Oh my goodness. What a way to deny them. What a way to prevent them. But he's not out of the woods yet. 10 minutes to get this Wonder victory. Choke point being held. The man-at-arms, what are you doing? The man-at-arms on their treadmills right now. Let me in, let me in, let me in, let me in. Everyone at the front is like, let me out. Get me out of here. This fight is so goddamn goofy. One force going to be blitzed. Elf apparently not syncing up here. Doesn't have any siege, doesn't have a way of breaching. Mistakes most definitely have been made there. The Salami is going to throw away his troops. Gain little to nothing for it. And This is definitely one of the most poorly organized two-man pushes I've seen in a while, because now Salami has to push a very slow army out from his base far away after losing his forces, and Elf is now going to go in after him. Like, what is going on? Well, Elf is at least in. He moves just quick enough that DeMusliM's out of position here. Shifting across now is going to be delayed, and the rush through, Elf looking to just target out the Wonder as quickly as possible. It's going to be a deep dive, though. And the choke points, no! 2 horsemen holding him at bay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, no, no. Elf has to fight. Held in the choke points. The building's creating those natural hold points to deny Elf the flood through. And that is going to be a massacre there. The coordination off mark. The rush through off mark. Elf, although he's able to breach the walls, he will gain little ground from it. He does at least get control of the walls, though. So as you can see now, able to stand up here and use those walls against Ben, but needs to reproduce the night line. Luckily for him, Salami's got him covered on the interim. The Congo line of death is here. These lads don't know what they signed up for. They're going to find out the hard way. They should have been a little bit suspicious when they picked up these used swords and helmets and they were covered in blood, but they didn't ask questions. And Ben, he's holding for the moment, but gold is becoming a problem. He can't push hand cannoneers anymore. Food and wood still healthy. Salami starting to breach through quick with the Trebs. The Trebs getting rid of the keeps as well. They're gaining a lot of ground. It's still 7 minutes out for the Wonder victory, and this is looking difficult right now, especially considering that Elf has now got the Sacred Site victory timer going. And Salami, why are you allowing this? Just decap it. Decap. I swear to God, if Elf wins off of a Sacred Site victory, when they can clearly take the Wonder out, I'm blaming Salami. Just pull one night. Just one night. Come on. Come on. One night, Salami. One, because you could still win this in a one-on-one. You're English versus French in the late game. Come on. My heart and my brain, they just can't take it. They can't take it. I don't know how much more this Ben can take. Treb line. Uh-oh. Mistakes are made. That's exposed. Trebs retreating away. Arrow volley coming out. Horseman marching across. Arbitraries and Knights in. This is going to be a good trade for Elf. This is exactly what he wants. He's not stuck in a choke point anymore. He can spread out with the Knights and dispatch the Horseman fast. Hand cannoneer line is good for Ben, though. Will force the retreat out. Forward keep now being built up by Elf alongside the infrastructure and the move in from Salami on the right flank. Trebs are AFK, though. Needs to breach through fast. Trebs targeting out the keep. It's going to be denied. Elf can't get it up. And we're talking about keeps in this situation. Keeps that he needs as a foothold to push forward. Salami still wrapping on the east side, though. Wiggling his way in. Screw the Wonder. The Wonder is further back than the landmarks right now. And they know about the landmarks. Remember, they tried to snipe this before. So with the Trebs being pushed by Salami, Salami with the triple siege workshop, he could actually just backstab and go for the landmarks. He's got 2 here. 1 not further away. And then the Wingard Pass is a short distance to run than the Monument. They could genuinely just deny the Wonder victory by killing him off the landmarks. And right now, Elf is fielding a damn good distraction. If he wheels him off to the west side, then Ben is going to be caught out of position. And that's exactly what's happening here. Knights on the left flank. DeMusliM. Oh, he won't be able to respond to this. The keep's being constructed up. The attack speed buff is going to come out. Abbey King's already been targeted. The village is being pulled in the meantime by Ben. Ben, 5 minutes away from the victory. Elf is going to force the matter, though, making sure he cannot react to what Salami is doing on the flank. Pushes in with the Knights. Doesn't care about the keep or the boiling oil. He goes deeper. Kind of moving in to try and snipe out the defenses. New line of Knights now pushing through. Trebs distracted at all times. And Salami, the rush through the man-at-arms. They've got the landmark. King's Pass down. Abbey of King's down. Town Center and Wingard Pass remaining. And the push in Salami. He gets the torches out. He fixates upon it. Shattering projectiles might be a problem, though. Can he do the damage? Let's find out. Stacking up fast here. 1,500 HP removed already. In the meantime, Trebs tonguing out the primary TC. The rush in. The Knights gaining ground on the north side for the French. Elf getting rid of defenses. The keeps are crumbling one by one. DeMusliM 4 minutes away from victory, and the wipe again. Salami once again can be forced to replenish back from base, but now the switch up comes out. The Horsemen and Knights being pushed to the front line. Trebs getting rid of TC. 3 landmarks down, only 1 remaining. And these Trebs can wheel in and snipe out the Wingard Pass. The villager pool is going to find it difficult to rebuild the landmarks that are lost. And Elf keeps the push going. Almost crashing my game there. Gold is drying up fast. Still has about 1,000 gold passive income via the Sacred Sites, via the relics, and the decap. Come on, Salami, you almost done it. Instead, it looks like he's going to end up giving a dub over at this rate. As rubber dubber dub, everyone in the Benny Boy tub. King's Pass has been rebuilt. The Trebs have wheeled in range, though. They're looking on the Wingard Pass. The villagers moving forward here. Horsemen rushing in. Given vision. Backstab. Mistakes have been made. Ben's looking the wrong way. Trying to hold here, but the Knights are going to target out the Trebuchets now. The anti-clump not going to be there. The rush out of Horsemen gets rid of the Trebuchets. Salami the backstab just trying to finish it off. The Wingard Palace will stay alive, though. King's Pass still up. 3 minutes out. 3 minutes until Wonder victory for Benny Boy. Can he do it, though? Another keep falls. The cannon line is getting mighty thrifty. Up to 8 now. Elf looking dominant here. Is going to force a response. Horsemen rushing in. No front line to hold them back as they're going to target out. Horseman now arriving. Elf delayed in his response here. He's going to sacrifice several cannon over, but maybe he can keep some alive. Maybe he can snipe out these monuments, or maybe go for the landmark still. He needs to make a choice soon. Horseman, being a little bit tunnel vision here, is going to sacrifice them. The cannons are going down. Salami needs to get more siege. 2 more Trebs out. King's Pass being targeted. It's once again down to 1 landmark. Ben is living on the edge of his seat every single minute here. Once again, pushes Elf away. Elf now pushing only Horsemen. He can't afford to keep pushing Knights like he was before. His food is also suffering now below the 1,000 mark. Salami. Can he be the saving grace here? Can he stretch Ben a little bit too thin? Ben, as it stands, food is the thing that's maintaining him. It's the only thing keeping him in this game right now. Wood reserves are looking good. The rush through Salami. He's going for it again. In on the Wingard Pass, once again being fully repaired. Can he do enough here, though? Knights in the mixer as well. Torches are out. Needs the Trebuchets in range. They have moved for it. The King's Pass being repaired right now, but they're denying him. They're not letting him do it. He rushes across trying to repair it. Half HP. Ben, can he keep it alive? The Trebs adding up the damage. The Horseman distracting. It looks like it might be enough. Needs another round of attacks. The attack speed buffer is good. The villager repair is not. It's looking all over for Ben. Minute and a half away, but a minute and a half too much. He will be pipped to the post as the Wingard Pass will fall. And Ben will be eliminated. 2 remain. Salami coming in clutch with the backstab, but now he has enabled a beast because Elf is clearly ahead. And Salami, he needs to go for a decap. He's insta on it. He moves across now, but the keep is going up. He needs to deny this. 1 Knight needs to peel off the Sacred Site because 3 Knights alone will not be able to kill off the villagers in time. The wraparound, more Knights coming in. Needs to split them off from the man-at-arms to be able to gap close upon this. He can deny the castle, he can deny the win condition, and Elf will be forced into a precarious situation because Elf drained himself dry. Look at his food, look at his gold. It's not stacking up. Meanwhile, on the other side, Salami could afford an infinite push here because the food and gold is maintained by the late-game English farms. But the rush in, the decap, a little bit too late. It's at least going to stop the timer for the time being, but now Salami needs to get more troops out as the response comes out. Elf arriving with the cavalry. Keep being constructed, but is going to be denied. No villagers left here right now, so it's just going to be a mosh pit of Horsemen as they clash upon the win condition. Salami keeps in this. Villager being pulled forth. Needs any wood he can get. Holding on for the moment. Numbers looking fairly even. The reinforcement rate is in favor of Salami, though, as his base is just around the corner. And so far for Elf to chase. Brings in more Horsemen in the meantime. A second wave, a third wave, in fact, coming in. He's starting to overwhelm the Horsemen. Not the highest damaging unit, but in this quantity, they can overwhelm. Salami denying the win condition, though. Remember, because the Sacred Site is not fully capped right now, the timer is not ticking down for Elf. But it might soon. Front line is starting to fall apart. Salami trying to construct the keep is going to pull the villagers now, but he pulls the attention of Elf as well as the Horsemen will switch upon him. Still keeping the decap going. Now the switch up into Spears and Man-at-Arms counts out everything that Elf is doing. Elf now needs a transition. The Revoldiquins could be big here. And oh my god, so many of them. 6 Revoldiquins. Elf, He says, I've killed the bald man, and now I must build the bald myself. As he's going to have a ball on the sacred site. A whaler of a time. Salami about to throw away a lot of troops, too busy dealing with the horsemen, not able to address the artillery, and will be butchered as a result. The keep trying to be constructed. A few villages will remain. Salami will get the defenses up, but now he needs to stay on that sacred site. Rush out. Spearman moving in. The man-at-arms as well. Knights now in the mixer. Elf pushing everything, throwing everything but the kitchen sink into this. He won't give it over easy. Salami still holding on though. Infinite food. Able to keep the push up. But the wood, my lord, it is lacking. And most of what you need to push right now requires it. It needs to be only man-at-arms then. Villagers as well. Everything being thrown out. The cudgels out. Ready to club. Ready to do whatever they can. But they just can't. The Robotiquin count now up to 7. The Knights distracting the keep. His own keep will crumble, but Elf keeping the win condition alive, and Salami only with a small group of hand cannoniers at his disposal. Now more villagers coming in, more defenses being built. Trebuchets in the meantime are going to be targeted out. Elf will not let that go freely. Robotiquins. Oh, the damage from the hand cannoniers is big. Needs to be careful to skirt the range, but this is a good trade right now. Salami needs this. He needs it right now. It's only outpost, the trade. Elf needs trade right now. He can't find his marketplace. He's running out of food and gold. He needs the stone for a keep as well. He needs to consolidate forces on this point, but right now the only thing consolidating here is an English flag wavering from the skies. That's exactly where it's going to be waving from, because Salami holds the high ground right now. He has this stable point. He has the attack speed buffer. It's looking good, but he needs to stop the sacred site cap again. Blocking it for the moment. But the forces are starting to overwhelm. Elf is stabilizing. More Robotiquins coming out. The keep as well, keeping him in this. Salami with only man-at-arms is not a solid answer, not against Royal Knights and Robotiquins. Yes, he has the keep, but he no longer denies that sacred site. The timer continues to tick on down, and Salami does not have the resources to switch up. He is stuck in the mud right now. He needs this wood, but the wood is on the front line. And you have to ask the very important question, Salami, why no wood here? Why? Oh my God. If he just went for the wood, he can afford what he needs. But instead, he cannot stop Elf. The man-at-arms alone can't do this. Not with the keep, not with the Robotiquins. Elf keeps on pushing. It's non-stop party time here. Sacred site still fully capped. You can see Elf is just Congo lying out one troop after another, microing them around to make sure you don't even get a sliver of a decap. As long as he maintains the full bar, he maintains the countdown. Salami on the edge right now. Decap is there though. Big move. Salami overwhelms. He's got the decap. Win condition now being removed. The flood through Salami. He's breaking off to look for clues. Going for an additional sacred site decap. A lot of keeps here will deny that though. Will not stop him, at least on this one. And now pushing in the scouts, because Salami, the only thing he can really afford is food. And of course, scouts only cost food. Anything to get the decaps, he says. To remove that win condition. Elf trying to deny the decap, pushes the villagers in. Now horsemen also coming, but it just seems inevitable that the sacred site is going to be decapped by Salami. Elf cannot keep it alive anymore. That decap will continue, and with it, the win condition will be removed. Elf trying to march in with just the remaining cavalry he has, but it's not going to be good enough. Salami blocks the condition and keeps the dream alive. And of course, it would be the Attack on Titan fanboy to resort to the scout division, because they come in clutch here. And burning down the keeps, maybe he can start to gain ground. In fact, that is it. Elf has had enough. He waves the white flag. English late game too strong. Salami, the unexpected victor, the weakest of the last three, will be #1. What a game, Salami. Come on, my boy. Oh, yes. That was actually phenomenal.